If there's something that I love about the collectible minifigure series, it's the endless possibilities of options that we get to customize characters with the pieces and accessories available. The hype around the D&D series is an excellent proof of that, but today I'm actually taking advantage of the Harry Potter CMF. There's a figure in particular that I thought it would help me get the paladins that I made with the King's Knights to the next level, and man was I right about it. This is my upgraded King's Knight army. I have my paladins on the right and the regular troops on the left, all being guided by these 3 custom figures that I made. The contrast between the paladins and the regular troops makes the army look better when it's complete, so I don't know if I will get more of these cloth pieces in the near future. I'm extremely happy with the final look, but I want the paladins to actually stand out from the rest. I feel like I say this in every video that I make, but coming up with custom figures and characters is one of the best things to do with LEGO. And as I spend more time making these videos and thinking of new upgrades, I notice that I'm actually improving, which does encourage me to keep trying to make interesting concepts to show. My King's Knights army is my biggest one so far. Blue is my favorite color, so I have a natural inclination towards this faction. Plus, I'm a huge Warcraft fan, more specifically of the 3rd installment of the RTS series, Warcraft 3 and the story that it tells. The prints of this faction have something that reminds me of the human race of that game. Another faction that I have fallen in love with are the Green Dragon Knights. I also customized some of these figures so that they will stand out from the others, but since I don't have as many, it doesn't have the same impact that the King's Knight army had. Nonetheless, I had as much fun putting these figures together, trying to come up with something new. And well, then I thought that it would be entertaining to make custom elite troops for everyone. And on this video, I'm going to be showing elite soldiers from 12 different official and made-up factions. As I usually do, I try to make a small piece to show up the custom figures. This time I actually made a bridge because I thought that it would allow me to show off the troops in a more natural environment. I will show 3 figures for each faction, starting with the orcs. I wanted these guys to have the iconic shield of the faction because it's pretty awesome. And I added a shoulder piece which is just like the armor from the orcs on Warcraft 3. I also gave them weapons that reflect the aesthetic of the Horde. These are honestly pretty simple, but still one of my favorite factions. Staying on theme, I'm moving on with the dwarves from the fantasy era. I think that I have shown these guys in the past, but this time I actually gave the dwarves some access. I really like how this trio looks together. I was able to find helmets that match in color, and I think that it ties these troops together very well. One of my newest factions are the Vikings. For these guys, I'm using the CMF Viking figure and some of the characters that came with the Viking village. I decided to go with the style of the classic old school theme for the shields. Even though I only have one of them that is printed, these characters still look like soldiers and not what they are doing. One of the capes from the Mandalorian battle pack matches the color perfectly, which will help the figures to stand out from the others. With the big shields I gave them, I composed them making a shield wall, and it looks pretty awesome, as it actually covers most of the figures. The Black Falcons are another faction that a lot of people actually love, which is great because this is also one of the cheapest ones to army wield. These guys are wearing very similar combinations to the dwarves, and to be honest, I know that these don't look as good. I have a few things planned to upgrade my falcons, so this could be called a work in progress. On the other side, my Crown Knights have received a little bit more love. I added some crowns to the 2 soldiers on the back, and I kitted out the helmet of the Heavy Knight. I feel like the only thing that I need for these guys is to get more of those long shields. They will definitely look better if they all had matching shields. Other than that, I'm really happy with them. I know these are also using the same combination that the dwarves and the falcons, but the dwarves and the Crown Knights are basically the same faction, so in my head these two needed to match. Another new faction that I recently added is the Winter Warriors from the CMF series. I made a few changes to them, and even though these are still a work in progress, I did add more accessories to them than I would to a regular troop. Not having an army for these guys was the perfect opportunity to make them elite soldiers. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to army build everything, but I am trying to have fun and make use of everything that I have. An all-time favorite medieval figure is the Tournament Knight. I'm really happy with the upgrades that I gave the two that I have. For my main character, I gave him a waistcloth piece from the Scarlet Witch, which looks fantastic combined with the cape from the Evil Macaque, and that dark grey shoulder piece, of course. This is one of my all-time favorite medieval figures, and now that I think about it, it's pretty hard to put this one together. I also made a third custom Black Raven, since I only have two of the Tournament Knights, and I'm really happy with that custom knight as well. They all have the same dark red cape which ties them together, and like I just mentioned, I'm just really proud of these knights and how they turned out. If you think that these look awesome, please like and subscribe, because that helps a lot with the algorithm. The Red Dragons is a faction that is not spoken about often enough. I made this amazing warlord with an old school helmet that matches perfectly the menacing aesthetic. The two soldiers on the back are also wearing some older plumes. Red and black is a color combination that is always going to look intimidating, so I wanted to add as much as that as possible. Once again, I get to show the catalyst for this video. Here I have my three paladins. I grabbed my armor knights and I decided that the shoulder piece and the prints work better with the cloth piece over the regular armor piece, so I stuck to that and I'm really happy with the results. I truly feel like these look like characters taken from the Warcraft universe, and I'm really proud of that fact. Speaking of amazing prints in torsos, here we have the Green Dragon Knights. I decided that for my elite warriors, I wanted to show off that awesome print that is under the double head dragon armor piece. I'm also using a frightening knight to add some variety to the mix, since my really cool warlord is basically more of the same. And technically, he will be more than an elite warrior. The last two factions that I'm going to be showing are actually custom, but I really wanted to show these figures again. These two factions come from the mountains, starting with the Black Bears. Since they come from a place that is colder, I used the spongy caves that I had from the Star Wars sets, and a shoulder piece to complement the look. I love how these characters are basically wearing a Star Wars attires, but they still look medieval, and a lot of people have actually shown quite some interest on this faction whenever I get to show it. Lastly, I have my red foxes. These look a little bit more uniform than they did the last time that I showed them, because I got another white fur piece. This is my other made up faction, and one that I'm really happy with. I'm especially proud of the combination that I pulled off for that medieval old school Qui-Gon Jinn. Overall, I'm just really happy with those two custom factions. When I say that I have improved on making custom characters, it's because I sincerely really like these characters, and I couldn't say the same of the custom figures that I was making 6 months ago. My inspiration for these videos is that I have seen what other people have done with pieces and figures that I have, and they really inspire me to get up and make my own custom characters, or even to just try out the idea that they were showing. People like Bison or Goldfire are some that you should really check out if for some strange reason you run into me before you run into their channels. I felt like I actually could come up with things that will spark an idea on someone else, which is a goal that I have when I make these videos. The castle community is amazing because of how active it is, and I want to contribute to some of that with the content that I'm making. Let me know if you made it this far into the video. I will do some Star Wars stuff as well in the future, but for now I'm mostly overflown with ideas for medieval and fantasy stuff, so I'm going to stick to what I'm enjoying at the moment. On that note, this is all I have for you today. I'm Beyond Lego. Peace out.